Hey everyone, welcome to the Zune Room Recap for December 23rd. It's Monday, right after the market just closed, and wanted to go over the overall market. Looking at the S&P, we had a pretty decent continuation up move here. We didn't clear yesterday's high, but we did end the day strong at the highs of the day. As kind of expected, it was a low volume day. With this being a short week and Christmas week, doesn't look like this market wants to really do too much selling into Christmas. So I did take a good amount of my short positions off and just stop myself out of them. Still holding some, but we'll go over that in a bit. Looking at this on Friday, we had a rally in the morning and sold off towards the second half of the day. And today we made back those gains, and we're still just chopping here. Notable that S&P cleared the 50-day and is back above it. So kind of thinking this dip may be over. We didn't get a complete gap close, but nobody's ever guaranteed anything in this market. Could be seeing something like this. We had a dip for a few days and we just continue back up. So market's actually looking decent to the long side and going into this week. Looking at Bitcoin was pretty sort of bearish overall today. It ended, it sold off a bit and actually sold off all the way into near the close of the US market. But it did make a nice bounce here. We'll see how much the market really continues that. But so far, bulls are not out of the woods yet. We are sitting right at the 50-day SMA again. We bounced off that, and the bulls, it's pretty important for the bulls to keep this level. Again, looking at the volume profile, there's just not a lot of, below 90,000, there's not a lot of trade volume to act as any real support. So this can, if it gets down here, it can go through these levels pretty quickly into the 70s. So the short positions that I do still have on are in Bitcoin related stocks. I'm going to try to keep this more consistent in terms of the Zune Room watch list. The tickers with the red flag are ones where I have short positions on that are open, and then green flags are long positions. Okay, yellow flags are ones that I am watching and want to get a position soon, or just really interested in getting in a position at some point. And the ones that don't have any are just the ones I'm watching, or they're tickers that I closed that day of. So I don't have an open position anymore, but I still want to leave it here so I remember to talk about it. Okay, so kind of going down the list, looking at CleanSpark. This was a pretty bearish day for CleanSpark. I do like this lower. It is one of the weaker Bitcoin-related stocks, and it's the position I still have open, the $10 puts. So today we made back some of those losses, unrealized losses, and we're basically back at break even. And this is the January 17th put, okay? So still holding those. I like this continuing to the downside, maybe into $9 around this horizontal support area. And then I'll just go down the other positions. Riot is a Bitcoin mining stock as well, and I got into a short position here today. And I got into the $10 puts as well, January 17th. I'm looking for a gap down, or not a gap down, a gap fill in this area. This is kind of the third time we're testing this support area, and that's kind of the target of $10 for me. It'll be the gap fill and 200-day SMA. And then looking at MSTR, I still have a part of the position here. Today, if you recall from the previous day, I was down probably 50-something% due to this rally. That was on Friday. And today it actually sold back down. Kind of got me back, almost back to break even. We're still down 10% on the position. And I got out around 35.75 or something like that. I got out of 2 contracts. So I wanted to de-risk and just lower this position invested. And we made back 40% of the losses from Friday. So not can't complain about that. Ultimately going into this week, I tomorrow's going to be the last day I'm trading for this week with Christmas. Markets are closed, and Thursday, Friday, I'm actually going to, and the rest of the year, actually, I'm going to be on a trip. So I'm keeping my positions light. Everything, all my exposure is relatively small. So I wanted to decrease this as well. So yeah, still taking heat on some of these Bitcoin shorts, but I will say Bitcoin did, rally at the end of the day. And again, we are sitting at this 50-day SMA, which is a good long entry for most people. So yeah, it's really, we'll see how that battleground holds. I did close out of my Coinbase puts today and ended up amazingly at break even. I took that opportunity. It sold off, and I just decided to close it to lower my short exposure. And going back to the open positions, next is QBTS. Looking at this, we entered on Friday. Can't remember exactly where. So we entered on Friday at 690 at 2,000 shares, and it traded up a decent amount today, over 25%, and still holding full position. I'm comfortable with that. Next, we have QUBT, which I am still holding, and that is also looking good. It was a pretty flat day for QUBT. QMCO, I did take profits on this. That's the only real decent profit I took. It was the last 500 shares I was holding since the 19th, and I wanted to just take some exposure off the table there. And ASTS and TSLL I did get assigned. It's not showing here, but this probably takes a day or two for Fidelity to process. But I got assigned 2,000 shares in TSLL, which I actually sold 1,000 of today, just to lower the exposure to around 30K, in line with some of my other positions. Didn't want a $60,000 position in that, to be honest. And then ASTS, I still hold the 1,000 that I got assigned, and it's kind of back to break even. I got assigned at I sold the $24 puts, and I got about 50 cents on it. So break even prices 23.50 ish. So we're kind of back, almost back there. I had a good day today, rallying into the close. So that's looking good. And then Xena, I still hold the last tranche of that original position. I'm actually open to buying more if we get a dip back down to around $7. So I might set some limit orders actually to buy at 7 in case it just kind of flash crashes down there. But I like, the signs of bullishness. We tried to break out a couple times and just sold off because of this baggage in this large resistance area. But I like that it closed at its high today and continues to look good. We got starting another daily squeeze here, which last time showed pretty positive results. Now we're sort of just consolidating again, and I'm gonna look for higher move. And the last position I got into today was GME. I sold the 29.50 put. I did this pretty much in the last 30 seconds of the market. I liked how it was closing. Closed strong, relatively strong day altogether. And the stock is kind of just moving on its own, honestly. It's just doing whatever it wants. Doesn't really care what the S&P is doing. It's in that daily squeeze that I still like. It's in that monthly squeeze. The weekly squeeze fired, but it's not really taking off yet. So really waiting for this daily squeeze to fire, give us something like this to take us further higher. And I sold the puts because I am anticipating something like this happening again, just teasing this breakout and then selling off, teasing the breakout, selling off. So the good thing is we're making higher lows. Okay, so this is trending in the right direction. And depending on how strong this gets, I may get into long calls and use this premium that I'm collecting on the puts to offset the cost of the calls and kind of make this a synthetic long position. So we'll see. I'll see tomorrow if I might want to get into those calls, probably at a later expiration, maybe in February or March. so I don't have to keep monitoring it. And yeah, that's it for the open positions. Looking at the closed positions, I already talked about a few of them. SMCI and NVIDIA, I stopped myself out of both of them due to NVIDIA's strength. Had 2 strong candle days. I took heat and decided to just close out the puts that I had probably around here, I want to say, and it kept rallying. So I'm glad I got out of those. SMCI, I sort of got out for similar reasons. Just didn't like the strength in both the S&P and NVIDIA. S&P had just a strong day, as we talked about, just kept rallying. So I got out of my S&P puts as well at around 50% loss. Yeah, so these were just probably the. So I got out of my S&P puts around 50% loss. So took these big losses, stopped myself out of them, but I'm I'm more comfortable now that I'm out of them than when I was sitting on them. So even though it's a negative 15K to start the week, it's okay. Uh, we're in a lot of cash right now. I'm about 75% in cash, and for my main portfolio, and 100% in cash for my Robinhood. So I'm just gonna keep it light probably the rest of this year. Speaking of Robinhood, I sold my IWM puts, thankfully, at a profit. I bought 2 of them at $3 on Friday, and today it kind of sold off. I was hoping it would sell off a little more, but it looked like it was recovering, so I got out. I think we got as high as, in profit of almost $300 for the total position, but ended up selling around 160 in profit, 170 in profit today. So, I am not going to make any more trades in this portfolio for the rest of 2024. I kind of want to regroup. I'm glad we still ended the year, even though this account's only been around for a month. We ended it up $100 from the original $4,000 start point. So I'm not going to complain about that, and I will come back in the new year, kind of regroup and see what strategy I want to take with this portfolio. So yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it for today's recap. I think I might have one more video to make tomorrow on a recap if I have time, but I will be offline for the rest of the year after that into the new year. And I do plan to make a recap video of my annual trades. I like to do this every year just to assess how my performance was this year, what I did wrong, what I could have improved on, and then looking at the strong trades, what I did right, and how I can continue making similar trades that worked really well. A lot of times I'll identify strategies that work well for me and strategies that don't, such as the day trading, the short dated calls or puts that kind of chop me up, especially in the Robinhood account. Those are things that I probably don't want to do as much. And then a lot of times I'll find certain tickers that I just trade a lot better than other tickers for whatever reason, regardless of strategy. And yeah, kind of want to make a video of that, or just record myself doing it and share some of those highlights with you guys. So otherwise, that's all I had for today. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.